All right. Hey, guys. Happy Friday the 13th. We are 1 month away from convention. So excited about that. And as I did a video just a minute ago, convention credit contest ends tomorrow. So push so hard today and tomorrow to reach that goal. Even if you're too far, you think you may not be too far. You never know what can happen in 2 days. So anyways, Ariel and I are so excited to have our friend Tara Castaneda on today. And Tara is a rock star. Her and her husband are both diamond. And she just re-entered on the 2nd, isn't that correct, of this month under herself? Yes. And she is hoping to go fast start gold, which is truly amazing to be able to do that. So anyways, we're so excited to hear your tips today. And thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I have about 10 tips, so bear with me here. It was hard for me to kind of shorten it. But I want to talk about how you can realize and make a reality out of the potential with Plexus. And so it's kind of a play off of to be or not to be. It really truly is up to you. And so here are my top 10 to be's for you to make it. The first one is you need to be open. So what do I mean about open? You need to dream and act outside of your comfort zone. If you're stuck in your comfort zone, or if you're stuck in small dreams, you're going to limit yourself. If you're limiting your dreams, you're limiting yourself. You need to be able to be open to develop your strengths and your leadership abilities. Personal development is so important in this business. You have to be able to strengthen your strengths, acknowledge your weaknesses, pair up with somebody that complements those weaknesses, but really work on developing your leadership abilities. And you need to be open to be able to do that and help others to do that, okay? So when you start having a team under you, you need to be able to encourage the same things from them. Personal development, leadership growth, acting outside of their comfort zones, pushing past their comfort zones, dreaming big. If you're stuck in fear, in comfort zones, in management mode, in complacency, you're going to find yourself stuck in your business. I promise you. It might not feel like you're stuck right then when you're feeling comfortable, but you're going to realize it a couple months later where you're like, things have slowed down. You're stuck in your business. Number 2, you need to be bold. You need to dream really big. And I'm talking really, really, really big. I never, ever, ever thought that I would be a double diamond family when I first started it. But as the business began to continue and I saw the importance of dreaming big, I said, why not me? Why not me and David? And so dream really, really big, because that enables you to reach past those goals. If you limit your dreams, you're limiting yourself. I know I've said that before. You need to be bold and lead your team with conviction and strength. If you believe something, if you want to structure your team a certain way, if you want to have office hours, if you want to have routine and duplication, you need to lead with conviction. You need to hold your values, your morals tightly, and lead with strength. No, your team needs to know what kind of leader you are. Don't be a wishy-washy leader. You need to have a routine about yourself so they know what they're going to get when it comes to you, right? Lead with conviction and strength. You need to be bold enough to get a plan for your life and your business. I am a type A personality, which I know not everyone is, which is okay, but I value plans, goals, things like that highly because it gives you direction. So be bold enough to plan your life. What does that look like for you? What does that look like for you? What does that look like for your business? Number 3 is be real with yourself and real with others. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is be real with yourself. A lot of times, maybe you, or you've heard it, you find yourself saying, or you hear someone else saying, I really want diamond, but then they're not really working for it, maybe. Or you know what it takes to reach your goals, but you're not willing to actually put in the real work. I want you to be real with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't trick yourself. Know what it's going to take to reach your goals and go for it. You have to be real with yourself in that. As for others, be real with yourself. Be genuine. Be open. Be raw. Be vulnerable. I post a lot of times on things that I never thought I would tell a public audience about my past finances, or just vulnerable pieces about my self journey, anxiety and depression. I've talked about that a little bit. before the non-compliant stuff came around. But I shared a lot of very vulnerable things, and I found out that was so important for people to see that I was real, that they could assimilate with me, resonate with me. It allows you to connect with others when you are open, real, genuine, vulnerable. When you are connecting with others, you're able to influence others. That's so important in this business. If you're not able to influence others, you will not be able to have these huge teams or help thousands of people with their health. You have to be able to influence. How do you influence? Connecting. Number 4 is be relentless with your dreams. Relentless. Relentless is to be inflexible. Okay? Be inflexible with your dreams. Now, your timeline to reach those dreams should be flexible. I want you guys to hear that. The timeline for your dreams should be flexible, but your dreams themselves should be inflexible. Be relentless with those dreams. I believe that God gives us dreams for a reason. I believe they are fast-forwarded versions of the reality. Think about that. What if you're dreaming something so big and it's just a fast-forwarded version of reality? If I dreamed it, God put it there for a reason. That's my belief. So be relentless in trying to reach that dream because it's there. It's already there. You just got to get it. Okay? Number 5 is be willing. So many people say, I want it, but don't truly work for it. Take self-initiative. Put a big old fat star around that thing. But take self-initiative. Don't solely rely or blame your up or down line. You cannot solely rely on your up or down line. You cannot blame your up or down line. You just can't. You have to take self-initiative. We all come into this. You guys have been blessed to be on a killer team. Killer team. Not everybody else is blessed to be like that. Okay? In network marketing, you can't rely on your up or down line. If you are getting upset with your business because your downline isn't performing right or the way you want it to, where should you be looking? Yourself. Right? Take self-initiative. Be willing. Your level of success is only determined by your level of effort. Okay, guys? Be willing. Your level of success is only determined by your level of effort. Number 6 is be intentional. This is one of my favorites. I tell this to my team all the time. You have to be intentional. Okay, so like I said, I like goals, I like lists and all that kind of fun stuff. I've made some videos, y'all might have seen some of them, but I talk about must-have goals and crazy goals. I do this with all of my team every month and even every week if they want to break it down into weeks. I want them to have a must-have goal. So a must-have goal is something that you're not going to allow to pass. It's going to happen. You just have to connect the dots. Your must-have goal, it's for sure happening. Okay? Don't give yourself an option to not reach that must-have goal. So make it attainable. And then your crazy goal is once you've reached that must-have goal, a little bit past it. I like to make goals measurable. Number of new customers, number of new ambassadors, a certain point value, a certain PV. Make it measurable, okay? Be intentional with your goals. Be intentional with your lists. Be intentional with who you're talking to. I encourage my team every Sunday, the first Sunday of the month or the first day of the month, whatever works, print out a calendar for that month and fill in each day with 2 new names of who they're going to reach out to. Be intentional so that when the busyness of the month comes, you have a game plan. You're like, okay, who do I need to message? And instead of going, I just don't know, I'm not going to do it today. And then you get caught in that, I'm not going to do it today. Be intentional. Be intentional with your schedules. Set aside Plexus time. Be intentional with your follow-ups. Be intentional about your business. When you work in a routine and when you lead in a routine, your team develops routine, right? When you do it, your team's going to pick up on it. That is what leads to duplication. And how do you get routine? By intentionality. Okay? Don't treat your business like you're cooking spaghetti, right? You cook spaghetti, you throw it on the wall to see if it sticks. Don't treat your business like that. Be intentional about it, okay? Number 7 is be sacrificial. Okay, there's 2 parts to this one. Be sacrificial of your time, okay? Plan out specific Plexus time like I mentioned. This may mean that you have to miss one of your favorite TV shows. This may mean that you have to stay up 30 minutes past what you normally do for a little while. This also may mean that you need to give your team, an appropriate and fair amount of your time. Your team deserves you. They deserve your time to lead them, be there for them, and encourage them. Okay, be sacrificial of your time. That kind of leads to being sacrificial of yourself in a way. Okay, remember, guys, this isn't about you. I know this is a business and you have personal goals, right? We all do, we all should. But this really isn't about you. This is always going to be about helping others with their health and helping your teammates with financial dreams, right? When you help others reach their goals, that is when you're going to see reward for yourself. Take yourself out of the initial equation. Okay, so that's what I mean by sacrificing yourself for a little bit. Always have the best intention for your team and for your customers. Number 8 is be tenacious. I love this word, tenacious. It's not readily relinquishing a position, principle, or course of action. It means to be determined. There will be times where you want to give up. Newsflash. There's going to be times where you want to give up. Trust me, I almost gave up. I got stuck at senior gold for 7 months, and my husband came home, saw me crying, and he goes, "What is the matter?" And I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to quit Plexus. It was him that was like, "No, okay, you're such a stubborn woman. When have you ever quit anything in your life?" And I was like, "Oh, you're right." He's like, "You're not quitting this. Give it another 60 days. Put your all into it." Within a week of that conversation, my business turned around. What if I had quit, guys? What if I had quit? Never give up. Ask somebody to be your accountability partner with being tenacious, right? My husband was mine. He was there when I hit rock bottom, and he was the one that said, no way, be tenacious. Let's see. Okay, so here's some of my tips on being tenacious. And I love this word. It's just so gritty. It's so fierce. I love that word. But how do you be tenacious? You fix your belief system, guys. Number one reason is that they give up is because they carry false beliefs in their head. It's the number one reason people give up is false beliefs. Number 2, keep your goals documented. We've talked about that a little bit. Have a written plan in mind because you're going to take it more seriously. I promise you on that. Understand that what most people who are negative in your life, what they say is nonsense. It's because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the products. They don't know your dreams. They don't know exactly what you're doing. So only realize that the fact that most of people that put you down really don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so don't lose hope when they discourage you. Number 4, remove emotions from your equation. Keep moving even when you don't feel like it. Fake it till you make it, right? Your team needs to see you do that too. Promise you on that. One of the most popular reasons people people give up is that they believe that they should only keep moving when they feel like it, right? They believe, I should only keep going when I'm feeling good about it, right? Have your why in front of you. Why are you doing what you're doing? Keep yourself motivated. Again, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but I was always taught as a little girl, never make big decisions when you're highly emotional. Has anybody ever heard of that? Right? Same with this business. If you're highly emotional, if you're upset, if you're frustrated, if you're tired, don't make a huge decision to quit, right? Because that's never going to be the right answer. Don't forget to refuel. This is all how to be tenacious. Don't forget to refuel yourself. Motivation is like fuel. Don't expect it to keep going for months just because you saw one motivational video or you had one awesome month, right? You need to refuel your motivational tank at all times. Look inward for your motivation. Revisit that why. External motivation is fleeting. Internal motivation is lasting. So your motivation needs to come from you. I can sit here and do Zooms for my team. Beth and Ariel can do Zooms for you guys, and that's external motivation. But what happens if maybe they're unable to do it for 1 month? What happens? Are you going to lose your motivation? You could, because it's external. So you got to find that internal motivation inside of you. Understand this. I love this. There are no genes for willpower. There's no chromosomal genes for willpower. So that means you really have no excuse, right? You can't say, I just don't have willpower. No, we all have it. It's in our mind, right? So it's a choice. Willpower is a choice. Read about success stories from others. Watch Diamond Docs. Go on and read testimonials. Get plugged in with your team and find out what they love about Plexus and see how it's affecting those right around you. Eliminate the option of giving up. Just eliminate it. Completely eliminate it. And make friends with healthy belief systems. Surround yourself around people that have healthy beliefs, because it's going to make you have healthy beliefs and enable your tenacity to last longer. Be proactive, and here's number 9 for my 2 B's. Be proactive and reactive. You got to be both. You can't just be one or the other. So what does proactive mean? So half the time you need to be proactive in that you're creating a situation by causing something to happen. You need to be proactive in identifying and preventing issues for yourself and for your team. You do. You need to be proactive in that. Be proactive in creating new prospects. Don't wait for them to come to you. Swim out to that ship. Be proactive. The second half of the time is you need to be reactive. We all know that things are not always in our control, right? You need to be able to positively respond to a situation that was out of your control. For example, technology issues, right? We all have experienced those. Troubleshooting someone's health journey, people issues. Being able to positively react and overcome is crucial in this business. So you got to be proactive and reactive. And my last one is be a sold out CEO. Be a sold out CEO. Now, I'm not a huge fan of when people view being sold out as negative. I think it's a very positive thing when you do it right, I guess. I'm not saying you have to be sold out to Plexus and the fact that you are like Plexus 24/7 and you're this side obsessed with it. I'm not saying that you have to be sold out in that manner. But I am saying you need to be sold out to the products. You need to be sold out to the products. If you don't have belief in those products, go learn about them. Go learn about the ingredients. If you spend some time doing that, I promise you, you will be sold out. Read some testimonials. Be sold out to your dreams. Be sold out to them. Don't lose sight of those. Be sold out in your belief in this company, in yourself, in your team members, in these products. But be a sold out CEO. What do I mean by that? Many of us can oftentimes forget we are in fact running our very own business, right? If you are okay with hobby pay, then put in hobby effort. If you want to be paid like a CEO, you got to put in CEO effort, right? Take ownership of your business, treat it like a business, be sold out to your business. Think of it that way. And lastly, be a sold out diamond CEO. If that's your dream, envision yourself as a diamond before you are. Carry yourself like a diamond before you are. Act like a diamond before you are. Put in the work like a diamond before you are. Because before you know it, you're going to become one. I hope those 10 tips really helped you guys. I'm here if you guys have questions. I'm happy to talk through questions as well. Whatever works for you guys.
Hey, Tara, thank you so much. That was so awesome. I was like writing notes the whole time. Can you kind of share your journey of like how you started with Plexus and maybe your timeline just so people know?
Yeah. So I started Plexus at the very end of January of 2015 is when I began the business side. And I went gold in February and senior gold in March. So I kind of went pretty fast, but then I got stuck at senior gold for 7 months. I couldn't figure out duplication. I could not figure out how to get my team to recruit. I couldn't figure out that duplicatable piece of the business. And I got so frustrated and I was trying. But in retrospect, I really wasn't trying as hard as I should have been, if I really want to be honest. But I almost quit. That's when my husband kind of helped me come around. And I kind of put a game plan in action. So that was September of 2015 when I almost quit. And I got a game plan in action for the month of October, and I created an events schedule for my team. And so I really had to, encourage and pull my team members to work with me. But I scheduled over, I think it was over 75 different events. And I'll explain what events mean. 75 for that month. It was exhausting. I'm going to be really, really, really vulnerable and open with that. It was exhausting, but it was worth it. And here's what I classified as events. I did online parties every week. I did multiple Skype sip and see. So I got my friends to just get together with 1 or 2 or 3 of their friends. It didn't have to be anything big. It didn't have to be this huge sip and see. It was just something. And I said, hey, and this was before Zoom, I said, hey, I'll Skype in and I can lead it for you. Just get me in front of some people. So I did like 4 of those, and I encouraged anybody that had potentials to allow me, no matter what level they were, to allow me to help with 3-way chats and 3-way phone calls. And I did 75 of these throughout that month. We went from recruiting 3 people in September to 37 in October. And I realized, wow, okay, so my team needed to be active, more proactive in their events and in sharing. And so what happened was in November, it carried over. I was very concerned, okay, are we going to see growth like that in November? In November, we recruited 56. And then in December, it was like 60 something. And then January, it was 100. So it kept building. And what I saw happen was through those events, I saw people picking up with others. They were like, oh, it's not just Tara doing it. It's Susie Q over here. Oh, and now Mary Beth is doing it. Oh, and now Sarah's doing it. Well, I can do it too. And so it created this snowball effect. So I created events. I also made my team page a place of public edification. I praised the heck out of anybody doing anything good because I wanted to reward them in front of the team. And then it really inspired others to continue. Creating a positive team culture is so important on your team page too. That's kind of what we did together as a team to kind of jump together. And then I went Ruby, Senior Ruby, Emerald pretty quickly. And then I got stuck at Emerald again. And I was like, what? I thought I got over this hump. But I was stuck at Emerald for about 6 months. And I realized that it was about personal development through myself and through my team that I needed to focus on. I needed to create leaders. I needed to create leaders on my team. So it was about doing coaching classes, book studies with them, getting them to Sonia Dudley's event, getting them open to the idea of developing themselves and their confidence levels. Once that kind of trickled in, it took about 6 weeks for results to start happening. But once that started trickling in, after coaching classes and book studies and IPA chats and all that kind of stuff, I was able to go Sapphire and Diamond relatively quickly, and then my husband kind of followed suit. So it took about 2 years for me to go Diamond. My husband went Diamond in 12 months, which was really fast. We had 3 legs under him that just were rock stars. So that really helped him kind of increase up. But it's been a blast, and it's been a journey for sure. I'm going to scroll down here. I see some questions. Is that okay if I take some of those questions?
Absolutely. And I wanted to say, I loved what you said about going and finding prospects and don't waiting for that ship to come in. And that goes with what you were just saying and doing those 75 events in 1 month. Yes, I know you were extremely tired, but you benefited greatly. And I cannot express enough how important it is doing some kind of meeting, even if it's one person, even if it's 2 people on a Zoom or in a living room or going to a meeting, whatever it is, it's huge. And I promise if you do these things that you will grow, your team will grow. I promise if you don't do those things and you wait for people to see your Facebook post to come to you, you will not grow. You may grow for a short time, but you will not grow, and it will be very hard for you to be Diamond if you are just relying on people to see your Facebook posts. Truth to that for sure.
100%. You know, I kind of, I kickstart my team with something I call quick success. So anytime I recruit somebody that's interested in the business, I want them to find quick success, which is 1 to 2 customers and going silver in their first month, in their first 30 days. And how do they do that? I make sure that they make a list of 50 people, at least 50 people, just to get us started. They're going to build on that list. Posting every day, at least 2 times a day about Plexus and 2 times non-Plexus. I encourage them to cold message from the get-go. And I always say do 2 a day. But really, if they're like gung-ho and they're going for fast track, which I've had, I think about 10 people on my team do it. If they want to do that, then I say, okay, you need to message all 50 Just sit down, make personal messages, sit down and message them, because those conversations are going to take time. And so get started now, but you have to be intentional, and you have to go for it. You can't rely on it coming to you like Beth just said. You just can't. Yeah, you're going to post and you're going to find people, but you have to pick up the phone and call your friends and let them hear the excitement in your voice. Go out to coffee with them. Say, hey girl, I've got to tell you about this. They need to hear your passion, your excitement. Pick up the phone, send text messages. You got to go out and reach out. Anytime you're out, if you hear somebody talk about it, be bold enough to say, hey, I really wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I just overheard you talking about some energy issues. Have you ever heard of Plexus? Oh no, okay. Well, gosh, I was struggling with energy too. And here's a sample real quick. Here's my business card. It really does help with blood sugars. Are you on Facebook? Would that be weird for me to find you on Facebook? I'd love to connect with you. Keep the ball in your court. If you're talking to somebody, reach out to them and say, hey, can I find you on Facebook? You got to be intentional and like Beth said, go out for it. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go through some of these questions.
I can still see what the months I do, like tons of meetings. Like I traveled January, February, March, like crazy this year. Like every month I was gone somewhere new. And the growth in those 3 months were just crazy. I had to kind of slow that down just a little bit because of family life too. I still do, obviously, meetings and Zooms and stuff like that. But it's really cool to see, even when you're a diamond and you're still doing those things that we're telling y'all to do, that you still grow just the same. So anyway, so yeah, if you don't mind just answering the questions that are on there, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question is from Kristen Rogers. Do you help your husband work his business as well, or does he do everything on his own? So my husband and I are definitely a unit together. We work together. We have, he has strengths that I don't, and I have strengths that he doesn't. So we truly do work together. He is phenomenal with back office and helping with even customer service stuff. I'm more of the in-face type of person, the cheerleader, the recruiter, the trainer. But he can answer every single Plexus question that you would ever give him to. Plus he's heard me say it about a gajillion times, so he can mimic. But we truly are a unit together, and the team sees that. We run our pages together, so it's just one for us. But no, he doesn't do everything on his own, just like I don't do everything on my own. If you're considering working this with a spouse, I did make a video about how to structure your business if you're working with a spouse. It's called Don't Stack in Plexus. If you're interested in watching that, there is a strategy on when you should begin building a spousal team. And the key is not too early, because it can really kind of bite you in the rear. But really one of the biggest things about building a business with your spouse is you should have a unified front. Your team should know that they can come to either one of you and you are there in it together. That's how we work our business. Great question.
How old were you when he joined?
He joined right off the bat. He wanted his products as well, but he began his business when I was a solid emerald.
Okay.
Not any time before. Now he was interested in working the business before we started building his, but we just kind of funneled it into my business. So anytime he would talk to somebody or gain a customer or gain, an ambassador, we put it into my account. And then once I had a solid business, then we began building a second solid business.
That's he joined. Scott joined the month before I turned emerald, and it was the same way. And I didn't re-enter until he hit emerald, because it was kind of figuring all that out. But yeah, so anyways, but thank you for.
And me too. Let me just share that as well. I did not sign my husband until I was an emerald, almost sapphire. So we all have the same kind of.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so Dora said, she's going to ask the same thing. So that answered two. Okay, Megan White, can you share briefly what you send your new ambassadors and how do you get them going? Okay, so really, I make it very simple. Are y'all hearing feedback?
Yes, all of a sudden.
Can everybody mute themselves? That's not Beth or Tara, please.
Is that better? No. Let me see if there is somebody unmuted. I don't see anybody. I don't know why it's doing that. Technology is terrible. Is it better? Okay, we're good now. Okay, good.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so I try and keep it very simple for my new ambassadors. I actually posted in the Jules box, Beth and Ariel, if y'all are interested, 2 calls that I have them listen to, an initial call and then a product call. They're each 30 minutes, but they go over goal setting. For your first 30 days, that initial welcome call. And then I go over, I made a product information call. So I go through each product and each ingredient, talking about what it does. So it really helps them understand the products and have belief in the products. And then I really focus on that quick success. So getting them 1 to 2 customers and silver in their first 30 days. I plug them into, any key documents that you have on your team. If you have troubleshooting documents or documents that explain what Triplex is because it's an important product, those types of things are really important. But really, their first 30 days, I try my hardest to keep it simple. And like I said, I help them reach out to people. I engage with 3-way calls and 3-way chats. That's really important. And then I continue on from there. But really, it's just about getting the bare basics because you can easily overwhelm somebody. And so really, I just want to focus on getting them to understand the core products, understanding what their goals should even look like their first month. Like, what am I even supposed to be doing, right? Which are those calls that I mentioned, guys. They're in Plexus Jules box if you want them. And then helping with 3-way chats so that we can get them success. And then it kind of goes from there. I know that's kind of a vague response, but I hope that helped.
Those calls are on both of our team pages.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Thank you for sharing those so much.
Absolutely. But really, that's what I do to get them started. And then, as far as training goes, it really depends on how fast your ambassador wants to go, right? I always say, look, I'm never going to push you, but I'm going to be right next to you. If you want to go fast, I'll run with you. If you want to take it slower, I'll walk with you. So once I see what they do in their first 30 days, given that information, then I know, okay, are we going really fast? Do I need to teach them about goal? Do I need to teach them about, balancing with customers? What do I need to teach them about? And so it kind of goes from there, if that makes sense, based on their time. And then let's see, did this activity help those ambassadors who don't engage? I'm not sure which activity is being referred to. If you wanted to, if it was by KKUWITZKY. If you want to type on there what activity you were referring to, I'd be glad to answer that. I'll go to the next one. Sandra says, what about a new recruit who does not use social media at all? Okay, that's a great question. So I have several of those actually. That's important. That's when it's important to connect with them and let them know that while Facebook is a gold mine, right? We all know that that's a great way to market your business. That's not the only way. And depending on their age demographic as well, but just teaching them how to engage and be bold enough to share with others in person. Go on your local city and see if there's a health fair booth at the school or at your city hall. What is, maybe there is a trade days. I have a trade days every first Saturday of the month where you can rent booths. See what's out there to get your name out there and be bold enough to do that. Invite your friends over to talk about it. It's going to be, social media makes it easier for network marketers, but guess what? This is a new age. Social media is a new age, and network marketing is not new. So people have been highly successful before social media. It just takes phone calls, in person, going and seeing people, doing booths, doing events, doing sip and sees, and being consistent with that. So it's going to take a little bit more effort, but it is absolutely possible. I just had a girl recently come back, and she's in Houston, and she went to the Texan cheerleader tryouts, and they were doing all these booths. And so she rented one, and she's gotten 5 new Texan cheerleader as customers or ambassadors on our team. You never know what's going to be out there. I actually went to a very small booth. It was almost 2 years ago in little tiny Round Rock, Texas, which is just north of Austin. And there was only like 5 booths there. And it was $75 for me to go, business expense, no big deal. But I ended up getting somebody who was highly interested in network marketing, and she's now a senior Ruby. So you never know who you're going to meet. So that is something that I would encourage you to all do, is to go out and see what kind of things are going on your area for booths. I love booths. What is your cold message that you give to your newbies, by Kim Watson? Okay, so I'd be happy to share that. I have a document, Beth and Ariel, that I can send. But I got the template from the book Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. I love her. I have a total girl crush on her. She's awesome. But she does a cold message example in that book. And it's, I think it's called like the super indirect method, but it's where you're reaching out to them, but you're asking them for advice and not necessarily asking them directly. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. So it kind of sounds like this. Hey girl, make it personal. Hey girl, I love seeing your family. Your family's, I just saw your trip from Disney. It looks amazing, but you've been on my mind, and I really would love to reach out and connect with you. I'm not sure if you know it, but I have started a new business, or I've started these new products. It's called Plexus. Give them a little information about Plexus, 1 to 2 sentences, quick, simple, and say, I would love to see if I could take you out to coffee or send you a virtual coffee gift card, and just pick your brain and see if you know of anybody that would be interested in an opportunity like this, or these products that help with these different things. I'd love to see if you know anybody. Hope you're well. I can't wait to chat with you soon. So that's a super indirect way to tell them about Plexus, but not put them on the defensive where it sounds like you're trying to get their money, if that makes sense. You're asking them for advice. And so what oftentimes is you're going to get a response, hey, I don't know anybody, but I'm interested. Okay, cool, right? Or you get, I do know a couple people, but I'm also interested. Hey, that's a win-win right there, right? Because then that could be an ambassador. They know people and they're interested. Or you're going to get a no response, or no, I'm not interested right now, but at least you've planted a seed. Right? At least you've planted a seed. So I do like the super indirect method of, I'd love your advice if you know somebody. It seems to work well. Now, mind you, I want to tell people this about cold messages. A lot of times people expect cold messages you send out 20, you get 5 people. It doesn't work that way. I'll be real with you. For every 20 messages that you send out, you're probably going to get 1 person that's interested. Okay, if you get more than that, awesome. But that's typically what I've seen. So cold messages, it's about numbers. You want to send as many cold messages as you can and follow up with people. I'm sure you guys have heard of the sales statistic where 80% of sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact or touch. Right? Follow up is so important. Same with cold messages. I had been cold messaging this one girl for 2 years, and she finally joined. So 2 years it took, but it worked. And she's like, okay, I'm finally ready. The timing's right in my life. But also know, if you send out 20 messages, don't expect to go, gain 20 ambassadors or customers from that. It doesn't work that way. So have realistic expectations in your mind and know what you're getting into, if that makes sense. Tara Stone says, so what was my husband's timeline? He went diamond in 12 months. So very fast, but he had 3 level 1 very strong legs that we were able to help quickly. And I think the reason why he went so fast is because we kind of figured it out the first time. We figured out what we were supposed to be doing. And so it was easier for us to duplicate and run quickly. So that was his timeline. Doral Holmes says, how to formally do an event for the medical field personnel, better than the pharmaceutical companies to convince them. Let's see. Okay, that's a tricky question. And with all this compliance stuff, I'm nervous to answer that question on how to do something for medical personnel.
I think you would probably need help from compliance when you're talking to medical personnel, because we don't want to go in saying something that compliantly we're not supposed to say, especially in that atmosphere, because it is the medical profession. If you know somebody as a friend, I think that's a little bit different that's in the medical profession, rather than going in and giving a big presentation. I believe if you're going to do a presentation, that you probably need to have help from compliance in doing that.
That's exactly what I would say. Agree with you on that one. And then Jennifer says, do you have a set time that you're available to do three-way chats? Okay, so it is my belief that I should be very available to at least my level ones. So sometimes I go too much in being too available, so you have to protect yourself, and there are boundaries, and I'm still learning. But I make myself very available, especially for people that are just getting started, because they need to feel confident in success and find that quick success that I've mentioned. So I tell them how to kind of introduce the three-way chat, and I've used this verbiage. And this is when they're going ahead and starting the three-way chat, right? So it's already in motion. And they say, hey, Susie Q, I'm so excited that you're interested in Plexus. I've connected you with my really good friend, Tara. She's been with Plexus for a while. Since I'm still newer, I want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered perfectly and we get the best products recommended for you. So she's a wealth of information, and she's going to help us make sure that we get you taken care of. That creates an atmosphere of trust, right? It's not like I'm trying to sell somebody. It's creating an atmosphere of trust, saying, hey, I'm still new. This is how we're going to do a three-way chat. And then they ask, what are their health goals? So we go ahead and get that kick started off. For me, the way I run my business is anytime I tell my level ones, anytime you just start that, jump in, and I will know when to jump in and what to say. So I keep my phone pretty close to me in regards to that, and I'm pretty quickly on that. But also scheduling three-way chats is wonderful too. You can do that if your potential needs a scheduled time. Maybe they prefer to do a phone call. Be there for that potential and be there for that level one who's trying to start, right? I think that those for that example, you need to be a little bit more flexible with your time, just because it's such a crucial part of your level one's business getting started, and that potential. Now, what will happen with three-way chats in your level ones, and what will trickle down is you're going to find that you only need to do maybe 3 to 5 to maybe 7 of them. And then your team's going to understand how to do it. Right? So it's just a few that you're going to need to do, and then they're going to go, oh, I got this. Oh, I got this. So it's just those few. So make yourself available for them is my opinion on that, if that answers your question. Let's see. Dora Holmes says, that's why I was asking. I have tons of medical people who want to know, but I don't want to say something I shouldn't. Yeah, I kind of agree with Beth. If you've got a really close friend, pull them to the side and say, hey, here's what I know that Plexus can do. Here's some testimonies. Pull them to the side privately, right? But before you get in front of a whole medical personnel, definitely get some help from compliance is my opinion on that. So,
for sure.
Yeah. I think that was all the questions. So,
anyone else? Okay, Tara, thank you. This has been so absolutely amazing, and we will be recording it. So, we recorded it. I'll be doing the recording. So I'll get that to you so you can share with your team as well. But thank you so much for taking your time to do this. It was just so awesome, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you both, Ariel and Beth, for asking, and thank you, team, for being understanding of my complete time mix-up. The other day, I was so embarrassed, but you guys have been great, and I hope that it helps you guys. We'll see you at convention.
Yay! Next month. See you there. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Tara.
Don't stop working this week.